very issue with Jared Moskowitz, the Florida Congressman, House Oversight Committee member, House Foreign Affairs Committee member, former FEMA director. Congressman, what do you make what Uri was just saying here? Concerned about that relationship that Israel has with the White House and maybe with America itself, and whether future aid could be riding on it. We've been telling Israel not to go too far. The Western world has, the United Nations has. What do you think of all this?
Thanks, Neil. Thanks for having me. I mean, look, I think the president's relationship with Israel is ironclad. I think that's been super clear from the moments after October 7th until last week when the United States built a coalition to help Israel defend itself against ballistic missiles from Iran. But to your point there are tectonic plates shifting under our feet here in America on my side of the aisle. You saw it yesterday when 40 members voted against a resolution declaring from the river to the sea as anti-Semitic, because, by the way, that is for the calling of the elimination of the state, which is... And by the way, as you speak, Congressman, we're showing on the other side of the screen what's going on in Pittsburgh right now. There's a live scene of a rally, a pro-Palestinian. I'm looking for the Hamas signs, but usually they end up being pro-Hamas as well, going on where the president is going to be speaking later today. What do you think about all that? Well, I think the same people that were clawing at the posters in New York of the hostages saying they weren't real, who then started, chanting genocide when they're not talking about Sudan where there's an actual genocide. They're not talking about the Uyghurs where there's a genocide. No, they're only talking about Gaza where there isn't a genocide, but what there is a lot of Jews. And so, you're seeing these people who have been chanting. Well, you know what they were chanting? These very same people, lots of them, not all of them, right? When Iran was firing ballistic missiles that can carry a nuclear warhead if Iran ever got nukes, right? They were cheering on Iran. They were cheering them on of what they were doing. And so, by the way, a lot of this is why I voted for the TikTok bill, because a lot of this propaganda is sold to the American people through the algorithms feeding them false information and propaganda and misinformation, right? And it is unhinging us from inside. The idea that Israel could become a partisan issue is devastating to the politics for Israel. Now, by the way, let's not pretend for a second that there aren't some isolationists on my Republican side that don't want to help Israel, don't want to help any foreign country. They would let the Ayatollahs take Iran. They would let Putin take Europe. So, that's why the extremes on all sides of this are not good. It's why I support what Speaker Johnson is trying to do on the foreign aid package here. Yeah, and you've been standing out in that regard here because it looks like a prominent Democrat in the House working to save the speakership of Mike Johnson. Now, that wasn't your goal. You're just trying to get stuff done. I understand that. But that he's hanging on a vine is going to depend on Democrats like you, pretty much, right? Well, what is the message to our allies in the world if we take out a second speaker and we can't stand with Israel, our #1 ally? What is the message to all of them? The message is the United States is no longer dependable. We will push. If Speaker Johnson goes because the extremes in his party, we will push our allies into the hands of China and Russia. That will happen. This is about Western democracy. My leader, Hakeem Jeffries, said this is the Churchill or Chamberlain moment, and he is right. And so that's why I'm standing with Speaker Johnson, who's trying to do the right thing here, and I'm not going to let the extremes of any party throw the United States to the cliff and allow Western democracy to fall apart into the hands of China and Russia. This is the time that Democrats and Republicans need to come together. This is our moment in the 118th Congress.
Congressman, very good seeing you again. Thank you very much.